Alright, so you watching this video right now, how many solid portraits of yourself do you have within, I don't know, the last year or two? Because personally, I'm not a big phone selfie person. Like, you're not gonna find me taking a bunch of photos with my phone, and good for you if you do, because I know some people do it every single day, and that's not a knock at all, because what I'm trying to get at is that everyone needs a solid handful of portraits of themselves at least every single year, so you can look back on. And because come on, who doesn't like a solid portrait, right? And before I got into photography and got these cameras, like, I would never try and be serious about taking a solid portrait of myself so that I can have moving forward. So self-portraiture is really cool, especially if you're kind of shy and you don't really want anyone else taking the picture for you. And honestly, that way you're in control and you have enough time and you're in the comfort of your own home or wherever, and you have privacy to find your angles and find the picture that you like. So that's what I'm gonna do today, and I'm gonna teach you guys also a little trick slash hack that increases efficiency and gives you more photos to choose from so that you can pick the best ones. So let's get to it. So a lot of us might still have to do this, where we set up a timer for 5 or 10 seconds, focus it where we're gonna be, and then, you know, take a photo, and it's just one single shot. So then you have to review the shot. If you don't like it, or if you want to take more obviously as backup, or just to do a different pose that's not as lame as the one that I did, you have to keep going back and forth and starting it again. Oh god, don't start. It's time consuming, but my Sony a7 III has a feature called interval shooting, which is what's key. A lot of people think that's only for time lapses because, you know, you take a bunch of photos and then, you know, you stitch it together. But for self-portraiture, it's really cool because it allows the camera to just keep shooting, and you know, I don't know why I pointed at my ear. Well, I guess you hear the shutter every 5 seconds, or if you tell it every 8 seconds or 10, you're gonna hear the shutter take a photo. It's just gonna keep going on and on and on. So you could take your time, you don't have to be running back and forth. Now, as long as you focus it, that's key. If you focus it where you're gonna be, then you're good. Now, if you have an iPhone or an Android, you might still have a feature that's pretty similar. Just look for something, again, that's like interval shooting or time-lapse, whatever, because again, that's what it's prominently used for. So the first shots that I actually already took using this method, which of course you can substitute for a timer, actually involve 2 cameras, placing them as close as possible, same height, same field of view. So I have 2 lenses that have similar focal lengths, so I matched them up so that they were shooting me at the same time. And then I started the interval shooting to shoot every 5 seconds, so then I had photos where I can jump back and forth and make kind of like the little glitch effect. To set the focus, I actually have a dry erase board on wheels, so I brought it in, I stood behind the cameras, started it so that the focus was set on the dry erase board, then I moved it out of the way and I stood where it was. Now, a big tip is to actually bring down the speed of the aperture, because you don't want to have it at f1.8, f2.8, because then only a small sliver is going to be in focus. So maybe the first 2 shots, maybe the first 5 shots, you're actually standing and posing where the focus is. But if you shift a little bit more back or a little bit more forward and your eyes are not in focus, and all those shots are not really usable. So if you bring it down to like f4, 4.5, 5.6, you expand the area. So okay, I can shift back and forth, but I'm still gonna be in focus and I'm still gonna get the shots that I want. So this next shot, I'm just gonna call it the passport photo, because I'm gonna be standing in front of a plain background. Now here I do have a seamless background paper hung, but any single wall in your home is going to do the trick. And the whole point for me in this photo is just to get a plain portrait. So let's try it out. So I do have this really tall tripod, so I'm just going to set it up to point that way, and I'm not even going to have to sit down. And again, I'm going to do the whole interval thing where I am going to place the board, the dry erase board, in front of the seamless paper, start it so that it focuses on that, and then I'm just gonna, you know, move it and stand in its place. So when it comes to lighting, I do have a ton coming in from the window and it's filling in my left side, right? But this dry erase board is white, it's not like a chalkboard or whatever, so it is reflective, and I can bring it in closer so that the light bounces from it and it kind of fills in my right side a little bit. So that just goes to show that even though I do have that big dome, and I might still use it honestly, you don't really need it. You can maybe even tape a bunch of printer paper and like somehow hang it on the side where the natural light isn't hitting you as much. But again, you just have to think of ways to figure it out, and I'm sure you guys will. When it comes to which tools are the most important for self-portraiture besides the camera, the only one that I can think of that would be very useful, of course, is a tripod, because it eliminates having to ask anyone else for help. Also remember that when it comes to self-portraiture, you don't always have to directly be staring at the camera for it to be a self-portrait. You can always be doing something or just look away a little bit, like, oh, I didn't notice you were taking a photo kind of thing, right? I definitely understand that you might feel a bit uncomfortable in front of the camera if you don't regularly take photos, so definitely give looking away a try and let me know how it goes. All right, so that's it for this quick video. Now, don't let not having a photographer friend or being shy or not having time stop you from getting some solid self-portraits that you can look back on in the future. Create a folder today that says Self-Portraits 2020 and just try to occasionally add a few to the collection, and yeah, just take it from there. So I really hope you guys learned something today. I hope you guys are able to apply the little trick that I mentioned in the beginning of the video, and subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it if you thought it was helpful, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.